Hi, I'm Blanca Thomas. I'm a 2024 center and I go to Charlotte Catholic High School.
So what I like to do is I just like to get the insight on who Blanca Thomas is. So just in general, when people ask you who is Blanca Thomas, what do you seem to lean to? What's like your go-to answer when you hear that?
The basketball side of me is like what I'll like. That's just the main thing that people know. So it's kind of like what I like tend to introduce myself as. Just like,
Who are you though? Because of course we are athletes, but I mean, what Brian said before, you're more than an athlete. You're more than an athlete, you know. You're someone's child, you know. You're a friend to someone. So who is that person outside of the court?
I guess I'm someone who likes to spend as much time as I can with like the people I love whenever I have the time, because it's not often where I get to do it as much as I would like. So I'm just like someone who's very personable and just wants to always be with the people that I love to surround myself with.
So I'll say you're very family oriented.
Yeah, and like just relationships in general.
So throughout this process, like how is the household and family like taking like your success from just being a you've just had a passion for the sport to now growing into someone who's sought out by teams all around the nation?
Yeah, it's really supportive. I mean, it kind of came out of nowhere. We weren't really expecting anything to like happen as it did, I guess. So like the support I've had from everybody is like pretty awesome, and just like everybody's so excited for me. Like nobody's pressuring me into like, oh, they want this for me. Oh, like they're like letting me have my own path and let me like choose what I want, which I'm thankful for because not everybody has that opportunity.
So what got you into basketball primarily?
My brothers and my parents. My parents grew up playing basketball, and then I have two older brothers who, one of them's on the team now, one of them's in college. They both play. So I guess just being like surrounded by it my whole life. I didn't really start until 6th grade though.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like seriously. I did church league, but like church league I don't really count it as much.
So can you remember like what was like your first memory of like being on the court and just kind of like saying I like this?
Oh, that moment was probably 8th grade. It was COVID year, and this guy that my brothers trained with, Randall, he's my trainer now. He was like, I see something in you, and I was like, okay, like let's try it out. So especially with like all the time we had not being in school, I was able to like work like every day consistently, and I was like, yeah, this is like what I want to do.
So when did it hit you and you say, wow, it looks like I could possibly do something with this?
Probably freshman year after my first recruitment call. Because Randall always has like spoken highly to me, like supporting me, telling me like I'm capable of it, and I'm more than capable. So, and then my first recruitment call was Michigan, and so having them be my first call, I was like, okay, like this is something that I can really like pursue and like be good at.
I mean, Michigan.
I know.
It's not like you get USC Charlotte
on
the road or something. No disrespect to USC Charlotte, but like, what was that experience like when you hung up the phone with the coach of Michigan? And the crazy thing is Michigan is a team that tends to recruit Indiana, like the Midwest area. So to come down and try to get someone like you from North Carolina, how'd you feel and how'd that conversation go afterwards?
I mean, I was shocked, but like it was just such a cool experience because I played against her daughter. That's the reason why she saw me. It was up in Indiana. I played against her daughter in 8th grade. So like her expressing, like saying like I see something in you was just like me being like, okay. So she sees it, everybody else around me sees it. It was just a great feeling. Yeah, to have that validation, you know, someone that knows the game, and like you said, 6th grade, and then what's that, 2-year span? Yeah. You're getting calls from Michigan, so I know. That could definitely be an encouraging factor. When we talk about your game, if you could, can you just kind of describe your game? Like, what type of player are you? I'm agile and quick. Like, usually you won't see a big who is, obviously I have the height on a lot of people, but like just someone this big doesn't really move their body as well as I feel like I can, and that's just something I've like learned to adapt to, because I knew, being not like as like stocky and like built, I knew that I was gonna have to have something on like strides and just like more stamina. So I've been really focusing on keeping myself in shape, because when I'm not, it's kind of like I kind of need to be in shape. That's because that's one of my best attributes.
It shows, huh?
Yeah, it does.
So, what would you say would be like your strength, and what would be one of your weaknesses that you're looking to work on?
I would say his strength is definitely, obviously, like my back to the basket, like post-up game, because that's what I started with. And then my weaknesses, I mean, I've gotten more comfortable shooting it, and it's becoming more like I'm being more consistent with it. But I'd say a weakness for me now is like the confidence to like put it on the floor, because I'm capable of it, but like once it gets to that moment, I kind of hesitate and I want to like swing it and dive and go back to what I'm used to, instead of like being more comfortable and being like, you can drive to the basket because you know you can do it. But
and how's you're speaking of Randall Clark, how is he helping you with that, or is that something that you just have to watch more film? How are you starting to get that comfortability to put the ball on the floor and to be more confident in the post?
Just reps, like continuous reps whenever we're working out. And it is, I mean, watching in film, I can see like when I have the opportunity to do it. And I mean, yeah, I'd say film and reps is probably what's going to get me more comfortable, and just like telling myself that I can do it.
Is there like anybody in particular in the NBA, WNBA that you tend to lean on and study their game and try to emulate?
Well, I just recently started watching the WNBA, so I'm not I'm not gonna lie, like I didn't grow up watching it, which it's obviously become more popular, which is really like exciting to see. But for NBA players, Randall he'll compare me to Shaq, I guess because obviously my height, but he says Shaq and Giannis because I have like long strides and I like to get places really quick. So I mean the Bucks were also one of my favorite teams. I'm not a bandwagon from when they won, because everyone used to call me, but I mean, like,
so
just.
You've been a Milwaukee fan.
Well, my dad's from there, so I have a reason. It's not just anything random. But yeah, I'd probably say Giannis and Shaq, because they're both like, I mean, they're both big, obviously, but like, it's like Giannis is more agile and Shaq has that back to the basket. So probably them two the most.
Is there anybody Coach Conrad tends to like point you in a direction toward?
No, not really. He lets me be myself. He doesn't really compare me to anyone, which is nice because I can just be my own person.
Yeah, I mean, I love your game, and one thing I did notice over the past couple times that I watched you play is exactly that. Your passing, like, it's exceptional. Is that something you worked on? Have you noticed that you tend to be a more precise passer? What is it about that?
Yeah, I never worked on it. I guess it's just kind of like the vision I've had, because I mean, I don't know. I guess I just see the court well. It wasn't something I worked on, but like, that's one thing I used to do. I would catch the ball and look to pass right away, like before I was more confident in myself. So like, I guess when I used to do that, it just sticks around. And I just know, because I know, especially being as big as I am now, I get like triple teamed, double teamed, and I know like I'm not going to make a move if I have 3 girls on me when I know like 2 of my teammates are wide open for a shot. So I'm going to kick it out. And I mean, it works for us. Like in our past couple of games, it's worked really well, so.
Well, speaking of the past couple games, I'm going to take it back a year, because here we are, I mean, playoff time. And the last time you were in this position, I believe you guys lost in the regionals. Was that your deepest playoff run?
Yeah, it was.
Could you just talk to me about what you learned from that experience? How did you feel being eliminated at that point in time, and how does that motivate you this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think our whole team is really motivated on getting farther and like hopefully getting to the state championship, because that's everyone's goal. But I mean, last year going through each round, since we had a high seed, we played some pretty tough competition like the second and third round, which we're getting ready to do again. But I mean, every team has a different game plan. I mean, I can't really like scout like how I think they're going to guard me, because you don't see people going against someone that's my size. So I kind of have to just like adapt. And I mean, my mentality going into it is kind of like, I mean, I'm just trying to prepare myself for whatever's to come and just like be able to adapt to like how they're guarding me. Because Chambers, for the regionals and the Final Four, they did a 1-on-1 full court on me, which is something obviously I've never seen in my life. So I was like, at this point I was like, I don't know what to do, and then the frustration took over, and that's just like, I'm trying to like not let that happen, because then that takes me out of the game, and that's not what we want.
Yeah, speaking on that frustration, first game I watched you play, I believe it was the Charlotte Hoops Challenge.
That was a frustration. Yeah, that was.
Out of that game, and I could see the frustration that on you. Not that that's a bad thing, because you want to play and show that you care. When you look at yourself as a player, what would you say, like, how would you describe yourself as a player, like as far as like temperament wise? Do you feel like that you're on the edge, you kind of keep a chip on your shoulder? Just describe like yourself and the mentality that you play with.
Yeah, I mean, frustration, it takes over, not a lot, but like when I've been like posting up and it's just not like getting inside as much as I would like, I kind of let it like take over the way I play, and then I'm like not getting back on defense because I either missed a shot. I mean, even my temper when like missing a shot, I'm very hard on myself, which my parents are like, you gotta stop doing that, because that's affecting my game more than it would be if I just like was like, okay, next shot and get back on defense. But I mean, recently I've really been trying to focus on letting that not affect me, because obviously we have better outcomes when that doesn't happen.
Yeah, it could be like a fine line, because you need that, you know, to kind of get over it, to have that edge over your opponents, you know, but then sometimes it gets in your head.
Yeah.
What were your goals for this year, and how are they coming about, or team goals?
Team goals?
Yeah.
Team goals, it was winning the conference, which we didn't do, but then we came back and we won the conference tournament, which was another one of our goals. So at least we have one of those so far. And then I mean, state championship is obviously a goal for us and a lot of other teams, but right now, I think it's just next game, because obviously state championship, but like we want to be like, okay, we made it to the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, and just like each game at a time instead of just thinking solely on one thing.
So how have you been able to like build your confidence? Coming from 6th grade to now, here you are a junior. You're 1 year away from taking the next step, a big step in your career. How do you continue to grow your confidence against the competition you played in?
I mean, I rely, like I told you, I rely really heavy on the people around me. So if I'm having like negative input on what I'm doing, it does affect me, but I'm trying to I tell myself, like, you're one of the best players in the country for a reason. Like, there's a reason why people look so highly on you. So I just know I go in more confident than I used to, because, I mean, everyone makes mistakes. I mean, that's just like the way of basketball. So like, I just don't let it get to me, and I just keep playing.
And I'm going to go a little bit more personal, because I was doing some research on you. And one of the songs I was listening to on the way over here was Champagne Poetry.
Oh God, that was the old interview. That was okay. I'm a Drake fan. I got made fun of.
Did you make the playlist in practice?
No, well, I put some input in there, but I mean, I'm a Drake fan, and I got made fun of for that answer because it's such a slow song. But sometimes you need those slow songs to get you like in your feels, and then you're locked in.
Yeah. So, what are some of the songs that since they made fun of you that you kind of expanded to? Like, what can we see here in your headphones coming up this Friday when you guys play?
Probably, I mean, recently I've been on like Gunna. That's who I've been listening to more. And then just like my girl rappers like Ice Spice, Meg Thee Stallion. And like you should hear our locker room before we got it all going. Like I don't really have my AirPods in ever. We're always listening to music together. We listen to like throwback stuff just to get us like dancing and pumped up, because that's what works for me. Like I'm not the kind that's gonna have my AirPods in and be like quiet. That's just not how I like get ready for games. Like I gotta get myself moving and going and being like, yeah, like it's time.
So let's talk a little bit about your teammates. Who are some of the girls that are helping you, supporting you, that you depend on? Just talk a little bit about your teammates.
I mean, everybody on the team, obviously, like I need them all, like all the support. I mean, everybody. Grayson has been a great person to play with. We started playing together, I think it was, we played for the same club starting in 6th grade, but different teams, but we would always like scrimmage against each other, so we were familiar. And then middle school from 7th grade until now, we've been playing with each other every year. And she's expanded her game so much, and it's so awesome to see how good she has become. And then her and I together, it's like kind of an unstoppable duo, because you have two. Grayson's she's expanded out to the 3, and then you have me down low, so you got to guard the 3 or you're going to guard me inside. So that's been like one of our strong suits this year. And then just the connection with any guard that's on the floor, like Olivia, Kate, Naya, Harper, like, I mean, those are just some of them, Maggie, I mean, all of them, but like, just like the connection, because I mean, you don't have a connection with them, they're not going to give me the ball. Like, it's all about having a good relationship, because then that translates onto the court. and then they find me when I'm open, I kick back out. It's just like the chemistry has just gotten so much better because of how good our relationships are.
Well, I definitely enjoy your game. Anyone that hasn't had a chance to watch you, they're doing themselves a disservice. I'll tell you that honestly. Looking forward to you play. If you could, before we go, anyone that's thought about coming to watch Blanca Thomas play, what should they expect when they come in this gym and see you on the floor?
They should expect a good game, and that you're going to see someone who you might not look at as being like, I mean, I don't think if you look at me, you're like, okay, she's good, but you're going to see someone who's going to be physical and gritty out there and just ready for anybody.
Appreciate that. Thank you for sitting down.
Of course, thank you.
All right, go get your smoothie.
I know.